Hey everyone, Joey here with Green Horizon Trade. Hopefully everyone had a great New Year's that just came and gone. Let's go ahead and break down today's ORB scanner setups. Today the PRZO was the big mover and the strongest name on the board. The scanner also flagged stocks such as PLRZ and S dot, but I didn't acknowledge those at the open due to the lack of volume itself. But they ultimately ended up having a good run. And UAVS is a great example of a stock that was flagged as well that looked active during pre-market. Did nothing most of the day and only broke the orb high finally towards the last 20-30 minutes or so of the market itself. So today was a perfect example of why and when a stock moves matters just as much as how much it moves itself. There was several other names with pre-market activity, but only one that showed real intent at the open. Now let's start with PRZO, which was a clear leader today from the ORB Scanner. So when we look at PRZO here, you can look at the very opening of pre-market has nothing, and all of a sudden they had a massive influx of volume during pre, which is great, which is something that I look for. There was no recent news, so it looks like it was something was going on. Somebody knew some information or something, and it drove it up, and then it spiked, it dropped. But looking at the orb, that's what I'm concentrating on. I like to see it up on the day already, and then I do like to see a pullback, which you can see it opens up. You have this long wick, which if you've been following me, you'll know that wicks are basically when it trades a lot and then it smacks back down, or it gets smacked down and all of a sudden it gets bought up. That's how you get your bottom and top wicks themselves. But I do like to see a pullback and then it goes back up. But you can see here, looking at this, 95 cents was the trigger for me today when it got back in, and then I just kind of followed it going in. Now this one, I noticed that the 21 and the 9 EMA was coming close together, so I actually just kind of wrote it out just to see what it would do, because what I also liked about this setup too is you notice as it's leaving the orb, we also have another strategy in confirmation that I like to look for, which is the EMA and VWAP crossover. So combined with the orb, that's what kind of gave me the confidence to stay in this a little bit longer. So if you happen to miss the orb, there was another actually breakout right here. And this is where I actually added to my position. It was right here about $1. So it went up 5 cents. And then once it broke this big candle, this is where I got in, which broke the previous high for me. Which, as you notice, the top of the candle in pre-market, because I don't really include this wick, it also broke the pre-market high. So I was kind of looking to the left when I decided to do this, so I doubled down going into it. And then finally, eventually, you have to say enough is enough. And for me, enough was after the second red candle right here was when I got out, which was around $1.12. So that's when I finally said, okay, you know what, that's enough. Granted, I could have stayed in it. It ricocheted off of there, but I had some other stuff going on, so I was like, you know what, I don't want to watch it or anything like that. Which it looks like it does kind of dips down a lot, and then it breaks above there, and it does go a lot higher later on in the day. But like I said, for me, enough is enough. If I wanted to get back in this later on in the day, would have went, around $1.18 would have been my next entry point, which would have been breaking the high of the previous high on the chart itself. Now, I also have another portion of these scanners and another mini scanner itself that kind of shows you, hey, look, this is a stock that's close to its high, which typically when they hit their high, they tend to break out. So as you can see right here, when this hit its high or come close to it, look at this big green candle right here. This shoots up right there before the high. And then it comes in, pulls back, shoots up again, because a lot of people are looking for that high. If you want to see these names as they are developing instead of after the fact, the ORB Scanner is a link below that I do provide. There is also a free trial if you want to follow along and be able to actually jump on these as they happen. So now let's talk about some of the other ones that it's flagged as well, which was, as I mentioned earlier, was PLRZ. So you can see here on PLRZ, we do have a cross up. We do have a small orb window. And the reason for that, there's really no trading going on. And this is why I wasn't looking at this. Just because, look, there's no volume. Now, granted, you're all over the place, but when you look at the amount of shares that you buy when you're trying to get in, trying to get out, these are things that you want to be thinking about. Is there volume for you to get in? Is somebody selling enough shares for you to buy? Is somebody selling enough, is somebody buying enough shares for you to get out? So other than a couple little spots right here, it would have been a nightmare trying to get in and out. But as you can see, you would have been in this all day until about after lunchtime, 2 p.m. Eastern time, before the volume actually really comes in. And so would this have been a great trade? Yeah. I mean, you would have got in around $8 and it's currently at like almost $13. I mean, that's $4 a share almost if you would have rode this out. But for me, this is no trade. There's really no volume. I like to look at about 100,000 volume on a single candlestick. And as you can see right here, the current ball volume is 7,000, which is good. Today's total is over 1 million, and its average is 6, and average volume per bar is 8,000. So that's after all this trading, so a lot of volume did finally come in. So, and then we did have a late day mover, too, as well, just so you guys know. This was also on here, and these are kind of interesting, too, to see, which is UAVS. This did eventually hit the orb high. Let's go ahead and draw our line. So you can see here, late in the day, towards, the last little bit, the last, 2 hours or so, it finally did break. But until then, you really see that there's no volume coming in. There's none whatsoever. And it does what's called barcoding. And that's where if you just draw a line, which draw another one, going straight across here, you can see, if I zoom in, you can see basically it just goes up, hits down, hits down, hits down, and it creates what's called like a barcode. I like to avoid stocks like this, even if they are doing great or something like that. It just, I don't know why it's doing this. I know there's some theories out there that this is, a automation trade, a computer trading, and that's why it's hitting those marks very well, very defined like that. Other reasons could be different stock, but this is NASDAQ. So yeah, I just tend to avoid these because it does give you good confirmation where if you want to trade like, hey, look, here's here at 115, you get out 114, that's only a cent, so it's petering back and forth. It's only moving a cent within a minute. That's no go for me, but it does, actually eventually break that orb. It does have a couple good spikes. So I did want to talk about, ones that did have, as you can see in the pre-market, it had a pretty good heavy move in the pre-market itself where it jumped from 83 cents and went all the way up to, $1.18, and then it kind of, goes sideways and then dips down. and does eventually come up. So just because it's a good mover in the pre-market doesn't mean it's going to be a good mover throughout the day. So going back to it, if you want to trade these setups live with clear context, volume filters, and defined levels of your entries, please go ahead, check out the ORB Scanner. The link is below with the free trial as well. Along with, please visit my website at greenhorizontrade.com. I have a lot of free material out there, so if you're new, it's a great place to go there and just learn a ton of stuff without having to spend any money. So I'll be back on Monday because tomorrow's the weekend with another breakdown. I appreciate you guys watching. If you find this helpful, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.